Very good evening. Welcome to your weekly date for sporting chat here on Sheffield Live TV on Talking Sheffield Sport. And we've got a packed studio this evening. To coin a cliche, it's always a good sign not to be alone in this studio. I'm far from that. And I can't remember an occasion when we have a more sartorial group of guests either. Everybody's splendidly dressed, possibly apart from yours truly. And we have lots to discuss, particularly about the climax to the football season at both ends of Sheffield. Feeling somewhat outnumbered in the studio this evening, my learned friend of Sheffield United persuasion and a team down south, James Shield from the Sheffield Star. Good evening, James.
Hello, Alan. How are you?
I'm well, thank you, for your second or even third visit, I think. We're going to have a debut in a moment, but, well, in fact, two debuts we have this evening. Miguel Llera. To give you your full name, I'm not sure if I've pronounced it exactly right. Former Sheffield Wednesday star, great favourite at Hillsborough, a man who, from Spain, played in La Liga at the beginning of his career. And people think, Miguel, that Sheffield Wednesday's revival has just started, as if this has been a great season for pushing on. Actually, it's been a slow revival from some while back, and we'll talk to you about that because you were in really at the start of it, weren't you, with Gary Megson and with Dave Jones. And a second debut, Laura Jones. Now, Al's fans, particularly those of you on Twitter, will know Laura. She's a great blogger, and I mean that in every sense.
Thank
because you're a much respected writer. In fact, has a column in the Sheffield Star on a weekly basis, so welcome to you as well.
Out tomorrow.
Sorry?
Out tomorrow.
It's out tomorrow, is it? There's
Good
the
plug.
first plug of the evening. It's a programme full of plugs because Miguel over here has got a contraption for coaching, an adaptation of a football coaching tool, which we're going to show actually a video of later. Are you enjoying this season?
How could you not? I mean, this is just the culmination, like you're saying, we've been building for years, slowly and steadily, and I think this year we've sort of surprised ourselves a little bit that we're quite as good as we are.
Yeah, I think if we're honest, back last summer we weren't sure what to expect, and right at the start I wouldn't have predicted top six.
Well, we didn't know who was coming in. We didn't know who Carlos was. We didn't know anything about his philosophy. He brought in a bank of new players, and we just didn't know how they were going to gel. And look where we are now.
I know, they seem to have gelled pretty well. Big match against Cardiff this weekend. Now, Miguel, you're 36. Your last club was Scunthorpe last season. You're not playing now. Before I ask you about what you make of your former team, what's the story? Are you intending to get back, or are you just concentrating on coaching?
No, I am full concentrated in coaching, and I am full qualified and building my own football academy. Here in Sheffield, in the same time I am involved at Sheffield Wednesday Academy, coaching the under 13, helping to the first team, scouting for them, traveling and making reports like opposition team analysis for them, for Carlos. I am looking forward for coaching the oldest one, because what I did. Be involved with the professional nearly 20 years, and I am looking forward I miss to be involved with them. No?
You're telling me things I didn't know there. I didn't realise just how closely involved you were still with Wednesday. For instance, the scouting.
Yeah, I had a meeting at the beginning of the season with Carlos. He offered to me work close to him, traveling, making reports from him. I started to work for the club, close to him, last July. From them I am doing a lot of miles, spending a lot of hours in front of the laptop, doing a report from them. Today I sent them the report from Wolves. It's the last thing that I saw, and I did my report from them.
So you've reported, you've scouted Wolves. What about Cardiff? Have you scouted Cardiff as well, or was that somebody else?
No, it was somebody else, Cardiff. But I think that they coming with a lot of motivation, because how they won the other day was a boost for them. Can be a threat on Saturday.
James, he's only scouted the teams that Wednesday have beaten. Yeah, this season. I think that's the case, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I have a great run because with me, with the report I am doing, the team lost one game in the last 10 months, and then can be lucky, can be casualty. I don't know, but the fact is that, and you never know. But that's the statistic is there.
I think Carlos needs to be looking over his shoulder, doesn't he?
No, because
I'm worried now that you've not scouted Cardiff.
well, yeah, it's true. That's true because the games, the last with me, my report, they lost in Burnley away, the first leg, and against Rotterdam. At home. Rotterdam at home.
Yeah.
And from them, I did at least over 20.
Yeah.
This year.
He's obviously got great confidence in you. And is it quite a number of you on that scouting team then? There's quite a few people involved.
Yeah, it's at least 2 or 3 more.
Yeah.
I don't have the pleasure to know them personally, but Carlos, I have the luck that he's confident in me because I had a meeting with him. I showed him my knowledge because I already UEFA license. I'm being studying. I already involved doing course in the English Federation. I keep improving my knowledge, and then and through by my reports, I think that what he see after during the game from my report is fact.
And did you know Carlos before he came to Hillsborough?
No. No, to be fair.
None of us did we?
Well, the people don't know too much about him, but he brought books. He's very methodical in his job. He has a vast experience. He's between the 3 or the 4 top manager in Portugal. And then it's someone that the people don't know him in UK, but it's pretty popular abroad.
Maybe it's our ignorance of abroad and the status of people abroad. Before he feels too left out, I'm going to argue whether you're confident for Saturday or not in a minute, Laura. Before he feels too left out here, and before I get bombarded with angry tweets, which is only ever about 5 seconds away at any time, and I'm sure you'll sympathise with that.
Yeah, I certainly do, Alan. Yeah, I certainly do.
Sheffield United. We talk here about Carlos Carvalho, and whatever happens, he's Wednesday's manager for next season, much respected. Still today, my Twitter feed has been dominated by people responding to my column, arguing either way on whether Nigel Adkins should be manager next season. Now, I think he will be. What do you think?
Yeah, I suspect you're right. There comes a point, we were discussing outside about one of the reasons why Sheffield United have struggled sort of so badly this season. They finally seem to have got it right, but why the first, sort of 6-7 months of the season were pretty much a write-off, to be fair. And I think one of the reasons is it's just the constant churn that there's been there at the football club. And whatever your thoughts or feelings on Nigel Adkins are, whether you're in the in camp, whether you're in the out camp, there comes a point when the club's just got to start building something. It's got to have some ideas. It's got to have a sort of a methodology, an identity, and it's lost that to a degree throughout this constant churn. So I think they've got to stick with him. Almost just give somebody an opportunity to fail if that doesn't sound too pessimistic.
Because I think haven't failed.
Well,
have they? Have been
precisely, and I think every manager, possibly since Neil, in fact, has left that football club saying, if they'd have given me this, if they'd have allowed me to do this, and that's not a great situation to be in. I think if a manager leaves, you want it to be because either they've been poached by a more sort of successful club, by a club higher up the food chain, or because you can say, we gave you everything, that we could possibly give you, and that didn't work. So the thing that I always hear at Bramall Lane, I can understand why it's very tempting to want to change, because it's a club that should be doing a lot better than it is. I think we can all agree with that.
And let's say Adkins and the players have not done their job as well as they should have done.
No, precisely, yeah, and I think they would all admit that. Yeah. But the one thing that I always hear is people agree, and I know football's changing, but you know, a manager needs time. They need a little bit of time. But the problem at Sheffield United is, I think, in the last couple of years, it's always been the next manager. We'll give him time.
Yes.
We'll never give the manager now time, but when we make a change, we'll give the next one sort of the room for manoeuvre.
I'll come back and develop that point, but are you surprised, Miguel, looking from outside at this turnover of managers? In fact, abroad, there's even bigger turnover, isn't there, than there is here?
But I think that the Sheffield United bench is pretty hot, in the sense that one club like Sheffield United is so big for to be League One, and the one manager can come in and give them too much time for building up something, because they need result. It's like when you come into Real Madrid, you can bring someone thinking in building at the club.
No.
They need result straight away, because it's a big club.
But they're already a big club and established at that level, whereas Sheffield United are trying to work their way back and develop something.
I think there's a crucial difference, personally, and I think if you look at Sheffield Wednesday this season, this isn't a dig, because I know I'm outnumbered here, but I think what happened there when you said that they brought in so many players at the start of the season, it was a new staff, it was a new playing squad effectively. They've done ever so well, but I think with respect, that's probably the exception to the rule in English football. I think when you throw something together like that, more often than not, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I think
that's credit to Carlos, the fact that he's got it to work so quickly.
Certainly. Yeah. And I think the big difference, I get what you say about they need results now, and they do.
Yeah.
But one of the things that, it's not just been the manager that's changed at Sheffield United, it's been all of the structure behind the manager has changed as well with every different appointment. So you can get clubs like Swansea, I think because they've got solid structures in place. Real Madrid will be like this as well. I never thought I'd come on here and be discussing Sheffield
Quite
United.
a comparison,
in the same vein
Sheffield
as Real
United
Madrid.
and Real.
But they will have solid structures in place. So at Swansea, they know what the club is. They can almost change manager once every 6 months.
Yeah.
And all that changes is the person at the helm, not the football club.
Yeah, but Sheffield United is the Real Madrid in League One.
Of League One?
What I try to say is in comparison with Real Madrid. But Sheffield United League One is like Real Madrid. Should be.
Indeed.
It should be at the top of the league.
You look at the two Sheffield club structure, and James referred to it there, they couldn't be more different. You've got too many cooks at Sheffield United, far too many chiefs in my view, and they need to streamline it. Don't know if you agree, but we'll come back on that. So the managers, like, who am I reporting to here? And I don't think it's expedient for a manager. Sheffield Wednesday, one dictator, owner, and a head coach.
Oh, it wasn't like that at the beginning of the season, though, because he set up the three-man committee. And then that changed rapidly because Adam Pearson left, and then Stuart Gray left, and then I think the third one left. I can't remember who that was. But then we were just down to Carlos again.
And it's better,
so
isn't
it has changed, like, rapidly over the summer.
A lesson has been learned? Too many people involved?
Oh, it was Glenn Roeder, wasn't it?
It was.
Yes, I think so. Because again, it's that too many cooks thing. In that, if they only came in saying, "I know very little about football. I need advice." If he's getting conflicting advice, I mean, Glenn Roeder has his own managerial experience. Stuart Gray clearly had his own managerial experience, and you got the feeling that perhaps that wasn't working behind the scenes.
He's still getting advice from somewhere. We'd love to know where it's coming from, isn't he?
Miguel.
Dave Ponchanseri. And now we know.
It's the scouting reports.
Yeah.
But the people have to know when you say, for example, just Carlos. Behind Carlos, there are a lot of people working with him and for him. He has a magnificent group of people working for him. When you say the chairman, the dictator, take the decision, but Carlos decide who is the player that he wants to sign.
That's good.
After this decide who player he wants, a lot of people saw that player before.
Yeah.
I have a lot of magnificent professionals around him.
Do you ever go to check out players that Carlos might be interested in? Do you do that?
Yeah, I went a couple of times for see player.
Yeah. Any that they've signed?
No, because I have to do my report, and more people see the same player. I make my report. I give him my opinion,
After the show, we'll ask you which players that he's on that list that you're looking at.
Yeah.
James, just coming back to Sheffield United, I wrote my column on it today. You know that I just feel somehow Sheffield United have got to create the conditions by which a manager can succeed, and patently those conditions have not been right for Nigel Adkins' predecessors.
Yeah, and again, I think it goes back to this sort of constant churn. I mean, one of the things that he complained about when he came in at the start of the season, and yes, everybody there should have done much better than they have done. Yeah. I don't think anyone can sort of run away from their responsibilities on that. But again, it goes back to this constant churn. He said when he came in at the start of the season, he had 40-odd professionals on the books, and you know, with the pressure that creates on a budget, and players at Sheffield United, because they are the biggest club in that division, they're very hard to move on as well. Players that possibly the football club wants to get rid of, you know, aren't so inclined to leave themselves, and we all know the reasons for that. So I think he probably felt duty bound to have a look at some of those players, and possibly arrived, albeit a little bit too late, to make a real fist of the season at the same conclusion that a lot of us had when he came in. But I think because of the pressures that does create on a budget, you know, I think you are duty bound to have a look at a lot of those.
I think he misjudged them and thought they were better than they were to start with. I plead guilty to that as well, because I made the same mistake. It's all very familiar to you, Miguel, because when you joined Sheffield Wednesday, they were in a similar position, weren't they? In the third tier, trying to get out, and you know how difficult that is.
Yeah, it's so difficult when you drop from League Two, from Championship to League One. Come back again is so difficult.
Yeah,
it's so difficult because it's the English football is so pretty tight. You see Championship, for example, when the season starts, over the 75% of the teams want promotion. And they're spending a lot of money for promotion.
Yes.
And then it's not easy in Championship, League One. A lot of tie games. The season is too long.
Yeah.
You need something that Carlos did magnificent was rotate the player, and it's not easy because he have a lot of players. Then all of them can play like a starter. Keep happy all of them is so difficult. He already did. If the most important, if he play one player or play another player, he's still the same level. It's so difficult. This is a job for him.
Balancing act on a tightrope. Gary Megson was manager when you came in. How big a part did he play in turning the club around, do you think?
Yeah, I just have to give my thank you to him, because he was the person that signed me. I never will forget the day that my first game in Hillsborough, he brought me 5 minutes before start, say, come with me. And we was together working until the top of the stand behind the home.
Yes. He took you to the top.
Yeah, talking to the top. We was working until the top. Say, listen, the feeling that you're gonna feel today for playing this stadium with this atmosphere, it's so difficult in English football to compare. This is amazing stadium, amazing fans, and just enjoy.
And now that you've experienced it, do you think he was right?
Yeah, of course, he's right.
Yeah.
Every day, even me, and every time that when I was playing, and before start the game, I was looking the stand, enjoy the people singing the song at the beginning. Just it's a feeling that it's difficult to describe. No?
I don't recognise this guy without his helmet, do you? Without his skull cap, yeah?
Yeah, with the headgear, a lot of people don't recognise me, even the referees.
That's good. The referees don't
in my academy yesterday came a kids using the headgear. It was pretty fun just the other day.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Right, and the second part, believe it or not, that's part one. First half almost over. A bit of stoppage. Well, we'll get some injuries sorted out. I pulled my calf running today. Quite painful. And then we'll talk more about your time at Sheffield Wednesday, what you're doing now, this ball contraption that you've got. We've got a film that's going to demonstrate that. I've not asked you yet how confident you are about Saturday. I know that Wednesday never do things the easy way.
No, we're not good at that.
but let's see if you can do it the easy way this time by getting the necessary against Cardiff. And James Shield will be back with more Sheffield United chat. James Gregg will round up absolutely everything else in about 5 minutes. We'll see you then. See you.